It all began one morning as I sat eating a bowl of cereal, watching a squirrel juggle 3 acorns on my porch. I figured that'd be the strangest thing I'd see all day. 10 minutes later, I opened my front door and spotted a bright orange envelope taped to my mailbox. I hadn't ordered anything, no delivery, no package, just a $500 fine. The reason? Violation of HOA Ordinance 14.7b, unauthorized lawn art. The supposed offender was my 6-inch garden gnome, Reggie, perched innocently in my flower bed. That's when it hit me. 1. I lived in a neighborhood run by control freaks, and 2. If they wanted to nitpick lawn art, I'd give them something unforgettably, a 12-foot steel monument modeled after the very woman who'd signed the notice, Lisa Harper. They wanted a fight. I was ready to deliver. The neighborhood looked like a suburban dream. On the outside, neatly trimmed lawns, identical mailboxes, pastel homes lined up like they'd been plucked from a catalog. It oozed tranquility, but underneath, the HOA ruled like a petty dictatorship masked as a community council. Lisa Harper was its self-proclaimed overlord. Grass too tall? She'd fine you. Curtains too colorful? Expect a letter. Anything hinting at individuality in your yard? You were her next target in her crusade against happiness. I'd moved here for peace as a remote software developer, surveying quiet, not conflict. All I wanted was to sip wine on my porch with Reggie standing watch by my petunias. I'd picked him up at a flea market cap, fishing rod, tiny smirk. He wasn't hurting a soul, but to Lisa, Reggie was a blight on society. After the fine, I tried reasoning. I stormed the HOA office, notice in hand, demanding to speak to the culprit. Naturally, it was Lisa, perched behind a cheap wooden desk, smirking like she just cured poverty by banning my gnome. She tilted her head, fiddled with her gold earrings, and said, "Sorry, but we have standards here. This isn't a junkyard." Her tone could have sparked a riot. Before I could reply, she added, "Besides, lawn art attracts pests. You don't want mice, do you?" I left feeling like I'd been convinced that a ceramic gnome could unleash a rodent apocalypse. I called my friend Mia on the way home. She's an artist who welds sculptures from scrap metal and occasionally sets stuff ablaze for kicks. When I told her about the fine, she cackled so hard I switched to speaker. When I hinted at retaliation, she paused, then asked, "How about steel and resin?" That was the moment the idea ignited. Not just spite, but principle. If the HOA wanted to stamp out personality, I'd hit back with a 12-foot statue of Lisa herself mid-scowl, clipboard in hand, immortalizing her reign of terror. It wouldn't just be revenge, it'd be a masterpiece vy Cybele from orbit. First, I had to make it legal. I pored over the HOA bylaws for 2 nights, annotating clauses like a law student cramming for finals. Then I found it, a loophole buried between fence rules and holiday decor limits. Temporary art installations, not permanently fixed, could stand for up to 90 days, pending review. Review didn't mean approval, just "we'll think about it." That was my window. Mia sketched designs, Lisa, clipboard raised, in her signature jacket, atop a base reading "In Rules We Trust." We laughed until we nearly forgot the stakes. This wasn't a prunk, it was a stand against petty tyranny. Word spread. Neighbors whispered, some doubted, others cheered. A few even pitched in with cash, tools, or scrap. Lisa had been tormenting people for years. Fines for unapproved mailboxes, Christmas lights past January, even a trash can left out too long. This wasn't order, it was control. I played it cool for weeks, acting defeated while Mia welded the frame in her workshop. I molded resin in my garage, section by section. It was brutal, aching muscles, overheating tools, but we pushed on. A neighbor dropped off scrap metal for the cause. Another brought wire hangers. It became a quiet uprising, fueled by lawn oppression and one defiant gnome. Reggie, now hiding in my kitchen window, watched it unfold. Each morning I'd nod at him, a silent vow they'd regret targeting him. Revenge, they say, is best served cold, but I'd serve it tall, shiny, and impossible to ignore. Mia and I finalized the pose. Lisa, mid-rant, finger-pointing, based on drone footage from a town hall where she'd berated someone over non-compliant shrubs. We worked late, fueled by pizza and music, tweaking details like sharpen the frown and extend the finger. Legally, I consulted my old college buddy, Alex, a lawyer who thrived on loopholes. He laughed, then crafted a defense, a temporary community tribute, citing the bylaws. "It's lawsuit-proof mostly," he grinned. Enough to rile her up. Installation day loomed. I rented a trailer, secured a forklift, and set it for 6 a.m. before the HOA office opened. Neighbors rallied, bringing snacks and tools. One donated a tricycle for the base, saying she fined me for it. Now it's her throne. The statue grew absurdly grand, Lisa's face, exaggerated yet recognizable, with a speaker playing her real voice. This is a violation, on a motion sensor. At 5 a.m. we rolled out, tarp over the beast. By 5:48 it stood in my yard, unveiled as the sun rose. Its shadow stretched toward Lisa's house. Mrs. Elton next door dropped her tea, then laughed. Soon, a crowd gathered, cheering, filming, playing epic music. At 6:45 Lisa's SUV screeched up. She stepped out tracksuit, coffee in hand side, and froze. Then she shrieked. Her scream pierced the dawn, a mix of fury and disbelief. The sensor triggered. This is a violation notice. The crowd roared. Lisa pointed at me, yelling, "You think this is funny?" I sipped my coffee. It's art. Your rules allow it. She stormed off, phoning threats. By noon it was VY the Lisa the Giant on Reddit racking up VYUs. My inbox flooded with media requests. Neighbors turned it into a party, chairs, music, a dog in a Lisa wig. At 2 a.m., my camera caught her sneaking over with a crowbar. She swung, cursed as the clang rang out, and fled when the speaker blared. I taped the photo of it to the base. Unauthorized maintenance, 2:03 a.m. She hit back with a cease and desist, claiming emotional distress. I countered with the bylaws and a note. See you in 90 days. At an emergency HOA meeting. Her new hype band failed, half the board laughed her out. Then she moved my mailbox at 3 a.m. caught on tape. I posted it online, mailbox massacre. The internet went wild, shirt ideas, mugs, a bobblehead. Then came her lawsuit, defamation, trauma, property damage. Mia eating cereal grinned. Our dumbest triumph. But I had Alex. He compiled proof of Lisa's abuse of fines, surveillance, threats plus her expired presidency. Every notice she'd sent was void. Court was a circus. Neighbors, reporters, even students filming suburban wars packed in. Lisa ranted about humiliation. Alex dismantled her with EVY Denke, the crowbar clip, mailbox footage, witness tales of her reign. She admitted MOVYing my mailbox and swinging at the statue, claiming it might animate. The judge smirked. Then Alex dropped the bomb. Her term had lapsed. She'd had no power. The room buzzed. My countersuit won her case, tossed, the HOA audited. She stormed out. 3 board members quit. An election followed and Lisa faded, house for sale gone. The city bought the statue, now a landmark by a koi pond with Reggie at its feet, sign reading Lawn Guardian. Life normalized, me yard bloomed, neighbors bonded, the new HOA leader, Ellen, baked cookies and vowed art freedom. The saga grew, articles, a TV pitch. I sat on my porch, watching kids reenact it with cardboard, laughing at how a gnome sparked a revolution. It wasn't just revenge, it was righting a wrong absurdly, perfectly. Peace returned, Creati Vy Tai thrived, and Reggie stood proud. Proof you don't mess with a gnome without fallout. Lisa? I hope she found a rule-heavy haven far from me, or she might face steel again.